Yes, y'all, you know what it is. It's them kids and wives and 925s, but we are still married to the games. Episode 359. Yes, sir. It's your boy Gabe Patillo with Tim Router, Ed Placencia, and Chris McCracken, of course. And as always, we are talking games and life and wait for it. Games.
Nice. Good one.
As I say, we're gonna get a punch in the face here.
That's right.
Oh, my nose is bleeding.
Yeah, gotta wake up. Oh man, thank you guys so much for being here. Woo. It's a morning show, boy.
Mm-hmm.
And I was telling these guys before we started recording, for some reason, every now and then, because I've missed my alarm once coming on the show. And these guys were already on and talking, and I was like, I'm coming. And last night was one of those nights where my body was just real nervous about missing my alarm. So like every hour and a half last night, I was like, I'm awake. I'm here. I go. Here, I'm coming. And then I'd be
wake
like,
up going, oh, yes.
yeah, just in bed. Jenny's like, keep it down. The children are asleep.
It was the opposite for me because my alarm went off and I was just like in bed on my phone. And I knew that if I didn't get up and I had no more alarms set, I would miss the show.
That's right.
I had to get up.
It's a real decision at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
I've been there where I'm like, I mean, the show would happen if I'm not there. I mean, they go text a bunch, but they'd still do it. They don't need me this week. Oh my gosh, Chris McCracken.
Yes.
How did you get up this morning?
How early or how?
Yeah, how'd it go? Was it fine?
I mean, alarm went off, and I was like, "All right, here we go."
That's it.
I mean, that's not to say there wasn't some like, man, it'd be nice to just stay right here, but you know,
that's pretty much how life
man's
works.
committed
right
to
there.
some things. Man's got to do his thing.
That's right.
If that doesn't sum up Chris McCracken, like, all right, here we go.
Yeah,
I love that. I love that.
And can we make a shirt out of the second thing you said? When a man commits to something, that's what he's got to do. There's some men out there need to hear that.
Yeah.
What a man!
When a man commits, he's got to do it.
1, 2, 3, 4. Pip, 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 pip. Get up. Okay.
Oh, jeez.
There we go again.
Chris, how you doing?
I too am tired.
Yeah,
outside of that, I am good. Doing well. This past weekend, so we haven't had one of our game nights in a really, really long time, or it feels like it's been a really long time. If I actually, looked back at the calendar, it's probably only been like a month and a half or something like that. But it feels like it's been forever. And every now and then we kind of just take a little pause on the playing games, and instead what we do is we get together and we go and we go have a karaoke night.
Oh, wow.
And so
nice.
that's what we actually did this
way.
past weekend. On Friday, we went to there's this spot down the road that has like arcades and all that kind of stuff, and then they have these rooms that you can book, and you can do karaoke for however many hours or whatever it is that you sign up for.
Amazing.
I enjoy going. It's a lot of fun. I get nervous about it though, because one, I can't sing, which I know that's not really the point. The point is just to have fun and be fun with it and have a good time, which I always have a good time.
However, I will say this though. When you sing for a living,
yes,
for some strange, I cannot karaoke. Like,
What?
because I don't know how to, because there's an expectation when I step up there,
yes,
but you don't want to meet that expectation. You want to just have fun. But if you don't sing well as a singer, people are like, I thought Gabe sang.
I see what you're saying.
Like maybe just, and so I cannot.
You put too much pressure on yourself.
Yes, it's a lot of pressure.
I'm sure it's the same kind of thing for like a stand-up comedian. Like everybody's always expecting you to say something funny.
That's
and if
right.
you don't, it's like, I mean, I could totally understand that.
Yeah,
but
people are like, oh, he's not that funny.
fortunately, or maybe not, depending on how you look at it, none of us are singers. So we don't have that part in particular. But since I don't do it often enough, I never can think of a song to do because to me, anyways, I'm not, I don't know all the rules about karaoke, but to me, it's like you should pick songs that are, fun and that maybe the rest of the room can get in on and sing with you. And, that kind of like brings up the energy kind of thing. So it's like you don't want to sing, or I don't want to sing Celine Dion or something, like really corny and cheesy and like a love song or anything like that. I want to sing something upbeat and fun and that's going to get people interested.
But that would
in,
be
have a good
amazing if you
time.
sang Celine Dion. I will say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with
So
you on that.
I can never. What I need to do is I need to just like as I'm listening to music at work or whatever, I need to just create a playlist. It's like karaoke stuff and throw in the songs like, oh, that would be a good one to do for karaoke kind of thing. Because
Yeah.
I'm always like, I think I did 2 songs and one of them was with Stacy. You know, it was one that she had done. It was like a Backstreet Boy song, and she was like, oh, we can do this together
Nice.
because the room it comes with 2 mics, so if anybody wants to do a duet or like a group kind of thing. So I did that one, and she picked that one, and then it just took me the rest of the night. It felt like to finally figure out a song to do, and then threw it in there.
What else did you do?
I'll Melt With You by Modern English.
Oh,
Yes. Classic.
Mainly because when I saw it, because the book is massive with all the songs, and you can either look it up by artist or you can look it up by song title. So already I'm like, crap, I can't think of a song. Then you see this book of so many songs, and then you just get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't make a decision. I don't know what
Totally
to do.
agree.
Exactly. So that one, I came across that one. I was like, well, I actually know the words of that one too. Because the other thing is, a lot of times I'll get tripped up when I'm reading the words. So I like to find one that I at least kind of know most of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but it
Is
was
that
still a
the,
really good time.
I'll stop the world and melt with you. That's
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I need to get better at it. I'm much better at lip syncing and just dancing around like an idiot.
All right, real quick, since we're on it, Ed, would you have a go-to song for karaoke?
Oh man, probably not. Maybe I'll do like an old Elvis song or something that everyone could sing along with to cover up the fact that I can't sing that well.
Speaking of Elvis, they had like 4 pages of Elvis songs. It was
I bet.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
It
Do
was-
people know Elvis songs, huh?
I guess.
I don't know. Maybe like Jailhouse Rock or something.
You know what's funny? I don't know if I know an Elvis song like enough to sing along with it.
I feel like I would know enough. It's one of those things where like if I sit here and think about it, I probably don't know it. But you put them on 4 different ones, I'd be like, oh yeah, I know that song, or oh, I know
Right,
this chorus to
yeah.
that, and kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you pick the right Elvis song, you can kind of shout it more than sing it.
That's true.
Yeah.
Going through a party at the county jail.
Yeah.
I just put a little bit of a gruff on my voice.
Yeah, I like that. Tim?
You know, I just did karaoke for the first time when we went
Oh,
to
wow.
this wedding down in Mexico. And it was Oasis Wonderwall. And I'm like, yeah, that's a go-to because I could do the words. I could sing that one without even looking at the words because I used to listen to that song all the time. So I think Wonderwall
wow.
was probably it for me.
That's
It was fun
funny.
too. I really enjoyed it. But yeah, it's so overwhelming. Like they give you this iPad and you just scroll and scroll and there's just
Yeah.
a
Right.
list of songs. Like, I don't know.
Right. So
It's crazy.
mine would have been remixed to Ignition, but R. Kelly's been canceled,
Ah.
so we can't do that
Yep.
anymore. But
Yep.
yeah,
R.I.P.
exactly. But I think I would go. I think I'm with Ed because of my whole singing thing, which I know is totally internal. By the way, nobody's like put that on me. Like, Gabe, go kill that song. But like
Right.
in Nashville, like I've gone out to karaoke with buddies, and
Yeah.
like number one, I never karaoke, and then like one of the guys we were with went up and did Brian McKnight and murdered it, and you're like,
Ooh,
well,
wow.
I'm not going up after that. Like he sang the
Right.
crap out of that song. But we did go to this place called it was some bar. I don't even remember what it was called. I think it was called like the Mother Load or something like that, this bar.
Nice.
And
Classy.
I was they had karaoke and everybody was joking around, and I had left or went to get a drink or something like that, and they signed me up for a Hootie and the Blowfish song. Well, I wasn't paying attention.
Perfect.
And so I went and did All I Want to Be With You. But
That's amazing.
but I'm with Ed.
That would also be a good one to do.
Yeah.
I should put that on the thing.
There you go. I'm with Ed though. I think I would do like Living on a Prayer or something.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Nice.
Yeah.
Because like everybody loves singing that song.
Right.
Yeah.
I would walk 500 miles, something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Something that
Yeah,
everybody
there you
knows.
go.
Right? Yeah. You wouldn't do 1 Week by Bare Naked Ladies. People were like, we don't actually know this song.
Right.
Yeah.
We've just heard it a bunch. Yeah.
That's the other thing too about karaoke is because my brother, both of my brothers actually used to do it a lot, and I went out with them a couple times just to watch because one of my brothers and he could sing several songs very well. I was like, it almost needs to be an agreed upon thing. Like, okay, this is the night where at the karaoke thing, people are going to really bring it and
Right.
like do a good job. And this is the night
Really?
where we're just going to goof off and have fun because it's the same thing. Like if somebody goes up there and kills a song, like legit kills
Yeah.
it, nobody wants to go after that. It's like,
Right.
okay, guys,
Right.
now we're going to go to Crazy Town. Nobody wants
Yeah,
to see
exactly.
that.
Yeah,
They want
it
more
ruins
killing
the
it.
tone.
Unless you could go be really funny.
Yes, that's true.
Like my buddy went and same thing, karaoke, somebody did really good. And then he went up and and he's like a a little like skinny white guy, and he went and did Kanye West,
Mm-hmm.
and the whole place was cracking up because he was
And murdered it.
Yeah, he murdered it. Like he had all the words down and everything. So it's like,
Yeah.
as long as you can be really funny, I feel like you could follow up somebody who sang really well.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. You can be the transition.
Because some people they
Yeah.
go to karaoke to have fun, and some people go like to audition.
yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, get out of your falsetto.
And then
We're
you
at
see that one
karaoke.
person that's really mad because somebody else did their song
Yes.
before they could.
Right.
And then they just pout the rest of the night. Like,
Yeah.
well, no, they did my song.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to do ABBA, and they're up there doing ABBA.
Quit holding your ear to try and stay in tune.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody need that.
Yeah. We try to have a good time, man. Shoot.
Mm-hmm.
What else, Chris?
Outside of that, it's just been trucking as usual. Again, people are starting to come back into town from all the vacations and different things that people are doing. We got a couple of different photo projects that are going on. And so we have this video project that's coming up that we're having to figure out a location because our studio is kind of full because there's like 3 different photo shoots going on at the same time. And there's not really room inside there for us to carve out like a little corner to set up a set and everything like that. So we're having to find another area and just a lot of other pre-production in and out kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll be doing that for a little while because the shoot got delayed a little bit. So we have a little bit more time, which actually works out well because it gives us more time to prep and to really nail down all the specifics and everything. But that's probably going to be my MO at work here for the next couple updates, just because I know the process that it's going to be going into. And real quick, I got to give a shout out to Mr. Chowfee.
Ooh.
He had hit me
Ooh.
up. He had hit me up the other day. We were chatting
What up,
about
Alex?
on Twitter, and he had gone to, I believe it was at E3 when they had the EA Play thing.
Mhm.
I believe that's the thing that he had got to go to and check it out and everything. And they gave out these little pins, like commemorative pins that you can put on. And one of them was Watson from Apex Legends. It was like just her face. And he showed it to me. He's like, hey, yeah, I have extra one of these. Do you want it? I was like, yeah, sure. That'd be awesome. Thanks for thinking of me, kind of thing. And so he sent me the pin, and it arrived the other day. And when I opened it up, it also had another pin in there from EA Play that was Star Wars Fallen Jedi, and it was a Purge Trooper.
Oh,
And
nice.
so I was just like, so he gave me, not only did he give me this cool little Watson pin, but he also gave me this little bonus pin in there that I wasn't even expecting. And I was just like, man, doggone it.
Oh, that's
People in
cool.
our community.
That's awesome.
right.
It's insane. Yeah. And I was really appreciative. And so shout out to you, Chalfie. Thanks for the little pins. They're awesome. They're on my backpack. And I'm walking in like, oh yeah, that's like a Star Wars thing, right? Who's that girl? Like,
Yeah.
well, let me explain here. It's Apex Legends. And blah, blah, blah. You drop into an area and there's some monsters. You got to watch out for these dragons that grab these boxes. And oh my gosh, it's crazy.
That's
Sorry,
hilarious.
I asked.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly right. Sorry.
And
I
then
asked.
right next to my Overwatch pin, they're like, Overwatch? What's that? And then it's a whole nother conversation. It's like, gee willikers, what door did I open here?
Right.
Gaming front, honestly, it's just been that Apex.
Yes, sir.
I'm trying to finish out season 2. I don't know why. The same thing happened with season 1. I'm sitting here trying to rush through it. One, I like playing the game, so obviously there's that aspect to it. But 2 is like knowing that there's daily challenges. It's like, I gotta log in and see what they are. And I can knock those out, right? And then next thing you know, it's been 2.5 hours, and I've been playing nothing but Apex Legends.
Yeah.
I'm somewhere in the 70s, and it goes to 101 or 110, something like that. Has bonus levels after you reach 100. So just trying to knock it out, even though there's still like something like 65 days left in the season. So I could take my
You got
time,
plenty of time.
but
Yeah,
I'm just like,
Yep.
nah, man, we got to do this. We got to get there kind of thing. I don't know. It's just something weird. I guess it's good to have a challenge in front of you and something to strive
Right.
towards kind of thing. And that's pretty much it on the gaming front outside of, the occasional Hearthstone and whatnot. I did actually, you know what? I'm going to back up. Nathan Dugas in our Discord was asking me the other day something about, he was chatting with me about Metal Gear Solid. He started playing that, and he made mention of it that he's playing it on the Vita, and that triggered something in my head. I completely forgot about the whole that you can download games to the PlayStation 3 and transfer them over to the Vita. I completely forgot that was a thing, because I looked at Metal Gear Solid a long time ago. I was like, man, that should be on the Vita, and you can't buy it on the store, which I already own it, but you can't download it to the Vita from the store. But you can download it on the PlayStation 3 and then transfer it over to the Vita. So when he mentioned that, I'm over here chatting with him and talking to him a little bit about Metal Gear Solid, and I was like, I'm totally going to do that. So I busted out the PS3, hooked it all up, and downloaded it and transferred it all over to my Vita
Did
last
you?
night.
That's awesome,
Yeah,
man.
and I was so elated that I did that. So thank you, number one, Nathan, for reminding me that that's the actual thing and that I hadn't done that. And then 2, now I got some Metal Gear Solid I can play in the bed. So that's going to be awesome.
Nice.
So super excited about that. And I'm just going to leave the PS3 hooked up for a little while and make sure there's not something else I'm needing to do with it or wanting to do with it before I pack her back up and put her back in the closet.
Right.
And then power back up the Xbox One because I only had one. I was like, all right, one of you's got to go. Well, so I can plug in this other guy real quick. Well, Xbox,
Right.
you're just sitting there. So I'm going to replace you for a moment. And then I'll just move it back over here in a little bit. But I will be getting some Metal Gear Solid on here shortly.
There you go.
in the
Nice,
evenings and
man.
stuff. So
Nice,
yeah, outside of that, pretty much just Apex.
Well done.
I love it. I love it.
Exactly.
Oh wait, no. Got some Overwatch in last night. Sorry, got to mention. Got some Overwatch in last night with the group. We did a bunch of custom game stuff with Ed and a lot of other people. That was a lot of fun.
That was a
Man,
good time.
it is so good. One of the things I love about Overwatch is no matter how long I step away, like get occupied, my brain by with some other game or something, every time I come back, I have fun. I love that game so much. Such a good game.
Good.
That's awesome.
Agreed.
glad
Okay,
to
that's
hear
it.
that.
Sorry.
Tim Router.
Yeah, man.
What up?
Oh wait, that was Ed. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's channeling my
Yeah,
inner
sorry.
Ed.
Tim. I'm just kidding.
Hey.
Hi.
Cheerio.
Why, yes, sir. How are you? Not a whole lot's going on. Back to you. No, I'm kidding.
That's
Actually,
fair.
it's been a kind of roller coaster past week and a half.
Wow.
I got good news and I got some bad news. Which one do you want first?
Oh, can we
Ooh.
do the bad news first?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, let's do,
yours
let's
is
do
only
the
good.
bad news. So my poor brother-in-law, he's a hunter and he was out working on his tree stand to prepare for the season coming up. And one of his tree stand straps broke and he fell 15 feet.
Yeesh.
And
No, he didn't.
Shattered his
Oh.
heel. Shattered his heel. Like his
Oh.
heel is like massively jacked up. Now, fortunately, he's a fireman. He's super responsible. He doesn't do anything in a tree stand without somebody else with him. So he was with his buddy. They were in the land that I think he owns or leases. And so, and he was just out there working and setting everything up. He was replacing the old straps with new straps. And he's kind of beating himself up because he's like, man, he usually harnesses into the tree. There's a separate harness that you can use, and it's a safety precaution. And he's like, and I didn't do it, and I should have, because that would have definitely helped break my fall and not break anything. I would have still fallen, but it definitely would have slowed it down and wouldn't have hurt as much. But the poor guy. So he had a massive cast all the way up to his knee. He went to see
Jeez.
the bone doctor, and when they took his cast off, he took a picture. It was so gross. He had the biggest blood blister
Okay.
right along the side
Lord.
of his foot. It
It's
looked
so
like
gross, guys. Look at this. Look.
It's so cool.
Yeah,
It was so
exactly.
cool. It was fascinating. So
This
he's
stinks.
like,
Smell this.
yeah, right.
exactly. Oh, you got to smell it.
Taste this.
So he
Yeah.
the poor guy,
What is
he's-
that with us?
he's so anxious to like get in and get this surgery going, but they have to keep waiting because these blood blisters, they got to get the infection out first, and the swelling has to go down before anything. But I just felt really bad for the guy. So we've been going down there and seeing him, and we made a meal for him and Kara so that they don't have to do anything. My mom had a wheelchair from when my dad had cancer, and so I brought that down to him. So it's been nice. Everybody's been kind of rallying around him and just making sure that he's comfortable. And now he's just kind of stir crazy. He's going nuts, and he works for the fire department, so there's some guys that come by and help him out all the time. And so he's worried, like, he can't drive the truck. It's his right foot. So he's basically out, and we'll probably just have to be doing some desk work for the next probably 3 to 6 months. So I feel really bad for him. But yeah, that was not fun news. Last Sunday, we got a text from that happened. And so, but he's definitely on the mend, and Piper's gone down to see him too. And so we're on the road to recovery. Hopefully he'll get surgery next week, I believe. And apparently, according to the surgeon, he's like, it's going to be like putting a puzzle piece back together. So there'll be pins and screws and all kinds of stuff. So fortunately, it was his heel. He went the way he fell.
Well, yeah, 15 feet.
Yeah, and it
Could have
wasn't
been a lot of
anything else,
things.
but yeah, it was nuts. So praise God, he's
One of my buddies
that's-
fell 4
that's it.
feet and broke 5 ribs. So
Oof.
Oh, jeez.
Whoa.
Ouch.
It's all about
Yeah.
how you land, I guess.
yeah,
It is.
exactly.
It is
Whether
exactly.
you're a ninja or not, apparently.
Yeah, or a cat.
My friend's not a ninja.
Right. Then the good news. So I told you that my nephew Liam has been in Japan for the past like 3 weeks. He's been on this huge Japan
Oh, that's
tour
right.
because he's a professional kendama player. And
Yeah, the old ball and cup.
the old ball
cup
and
ball.
cup. It is essentially the Japanese version of a yo-yo or the Japanese version of a ball and cup. And
Which I thought a yo-yo was the Japanese version of a yo-yo, but hey,
No,
learn something every day.
maybe it's the updated version of the yo-yo.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I have no idea where
But
the yo-yo
anyway,
comes from.
he's been doing this for years. This was like a once in a lifetime opportunity for him. And the guy that sponsors him as a professional, he owns like a kendama company, Soul Kendama. And so he and 3 other guys went over to Japan, and they were gonna tour some places in Japan, but also they were gonna compete in a couple like small kendama competitions. And then at the same time, there was the World Cup of Kendama that happens in Japan as well. So they were going to go there, and they were going to apply and try and compete and do all this fun stuff.
Sure.
And so they did. So Liam enters, and there's like 500 people that enter, and it's a 2-day event. So you qualify the first day, and then the second day is the finals. And it's really interesting. They have a list of different tricks that you have to do. And if you land them all, that advances you to the next layer. And then there's more tricks that you do. They kind of list it all out. And if you can land them completely, you continue to advance. So my freaking nephew places 12th in the World Cup of Kendama
What?
out of
Nice.
500 people. He just wanted to qualify.
Mhm.
And the dude killed it.
No
And
way. Good for him.
I know. I'm so proud of him. 2 of his other buddies like got in the top 25, I think. So 3
Losers.
Americans,
Just kidding.
right? 3 Americans
Home
in
and
like
practice.
go in and like crush it.
That's
I'm
incredible.
like it was insane. So I've been living vicariously through him on Instagram stories. He's been posting a bunch of stuff, and we heard about it on our way back from London. So I was able to text him at the Heathrow airport and be like, "Dude, I can't believe that happened." He's like, "Man, I'm so stoked. It's so cool. Dream come true." So congratulations, Liam, dude. I can't believe it. 12th. He's 12th in the world right now as a kendama player, and that's pretty amazing. So
That'd be nice to be 12th in the world for anything.
Yeah.
right? Exactly. I'm not 12th in the world for jack squat.
No,
so
it'd have to be a
it's
very,
awesome.
very specific thing I'm 12th in the world for.
Yeah.
Right.
Like you have to click a lot of filters. Like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, Gabe, I guess is 12th for that.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there. A lot of paperwork for that.
Exactly. It'd have to be like height, color, name, place I was born.
Exactly. So he comes back today. I think he was traveling. I think he stopped in LA on the way back. So I think he's coming back. So hopefully I'm going to get together with him this weekend and just talk about all this stuff. And then he's off to the University of Alabama in like 2 weeks, which is crazy. So my nephew's growing up, man. I can't believe it. It's insane. So I'm so proud of him. So there's the good news. There's the bad news. School starts next week for Piper. Next Friday they start, and she will be a 2nd grader, which is insane. But I think we're prepared. We're all ready, and I think she's excited for it too, which will be good. So we find out who her teacher is, and who hopefully some of her friends will be in that class as well. Soccer's going to start back up soon. I just got that text from our coach. So the World Cup of Soccer will begin again this fall, and hopefully we'll see some improvements
12th in the world.
Yeah, 12th in the world.
Yeah. We're like 12th on the field out of 10 children.
Exactly.
In that league.
We'll be placing 12th out of 12 in that league. Yeah, so it'll be good. I'm actually looking forward to it. Piper is too. It's always a lot of fun. Pretty much the same group of girls, so it's fun to have all the parents come together, and we always have a good time. So it'll be great. On the gaming front, 80% through Spider-Man now, loving it. Really kind of trying to focus on getting that done. Looking through those trophies, trying to get that platinum going. I'm definitely getting there, which is great. There's a couple more hidden trophies, which means I have a couple more main missions to do. And once everything is unlocked, then I'll finish everything up and go to town. But man, I am just loving it, and it's so fun. I've actually stopped over at the George Washington Bridge and looked over at Fort Lee, where Lauren and her family used to live, and I'm like, yeah, they have every detail down.
They nailed
it's
it, didn't
pretty
they?
cool. They completely
really
nailed it.
cool.
Even going down by the Brooklyn Bridge, and there's Dumbo on the other side, and there's buildings, taller buildings right there, and that's exactly what it looks like. So I mean, kudos to them for all of the detail. It's just amazing. So I'm having so much fun with that game. But dude, this week has been Hearthstone to the point where my wife is like, "Are you going to put that down and talk with your family?"
Really?
Several
Ooh.
times. Several times.
You said anything new happened with y'all? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I don't know, man. I've just been back at it. I've done I've been doing a couple of the solo adventures. And you know, I've gone back, I've gone ahead and unlocked all the heroes. I've unlocked the tavern brawl and the arena and everything. And now it's just collecting coins and trying to get as many cards. I think I might end up buying some new packs that come up for this new DLC that's coming up, which is August 3rd, I believe. But man, I'm completely back in love with this game, and it is so much fun. And
Nice.
I have been playing it like as much as humanly possible. It's insane. So I'm already back down. I went from level 50 down to level 20 in 2 days, something like that. So I've just been playing as many games as I can. And like before, the hunter class has always been my favorite class. Because I just love some of the cards and the spells that they have. So I've been playing a lot of that, and it's been a lot of fun. And a little bit of Clash Royale, and that's it for me.
There you go. Only a little bit.
Yep.
Edward?
Yes, sir.
Hi.
Hi.
How goes it?
Hi.
Goes well.
Are you still a bachelor?
I am. Sarah is out of town until Sunday, so I've got another
Sweet party. I'm coming up. Let's go.
About another week to go.
Road trip.
She finished up her Zumba convention this Sunday, and now she's in Jacksonville with her brother for another week, and they're just hanging out. And she's going to the beach and going to the coffee shop down there and just enjoying life and just taking a little break, which is good. I like that she's being able to spend time with her brother down there, and you know they don't see each other very often, and he's a real good guy, so it's good they get to hang out and be together for a few days.
Yeah.
I've just been batching it here with me and the pup and the kitty and just hanging out. This weekend, my brother and his wife and their daughter and my dad came over, introduced them to Into the Spider-Verse, and had a nice little movie night.
That movie's good.
Man, it's so good. Are you kidding me?
Still got to see that.
I think I watched it like 3 times before they came over. It was just so good.
That movie is good, Tim. It's on Netflix. There's literally no reason now for anybody not to see it.
I know. I can't wait.
It is so good. Like just the style.
Yeah.
The soundtrack.
Oh, yeah, the soundtrack. Yeah, just by itself is ridiculous. It's up there with like the Black Panther soundtrack, except clean.
Nice.
Right.
Thanks, Kendrick.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I feel like I can listen to
Is it like
I can listen to this one in the car with my kids. I can't listen to the Black Panther soundtrack with my kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nice.
Right.
Would the movie like Lauren and Piper like it, you think,
Yes.
too? Is it like
Piper'd go nuts for it.
Okay, cool. Good.
I don't know about Lauren, but it's awesome.
Well, yeah, Lauren can be on the phone or do whatever. That's fine.
Exactly.
But yeah, like I'm super excited to watch that. I really want Piper to see it too because I've heard so many.
Amara loves it.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, cool. All right, good. That's good. That's good fodder for that.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it's so well done. After we watched the movie, they stuck around for a little bit, and my brother and his daughter, they played the game 39 Days to Mars, which I'd mentioned before in the podcast. It's a fun little co-op puzzler. You really have to communicate and talk. One person's controlling one hand, one person's controlling the other, and it's just a good time to just laugh and watch people struggle, and it was a lot of fun. Friday, Hollywood Bones came to town once again.
What the heck is that about?
That's awesome, man.
It was his birthday, and he said, "Hey, can I come up for the day?" And I was like, "Of course you can." So he came up, and we played 39 Days to Mars.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And the last time he was here, we played Overcooked, and it was funny because we sat there almost in silence, just two dudes like killing it. We went through almost the entire game and barely said a word to each other.
That's amazing.
And about 15 minutes into this game, Patrick's like, "I think we need to talk to each other. This is really hard."
That's awesome.
So you definitely have to communicate in this game. It was a lot of fun. We walked downtown, got something to eat, and it was just a really nice hang. You know, it's about a 20-minute walk. And so just walking down there, and then I think we stayed at the restaurant for like an hour and a half just talking and came back. It was just such a good hang.
Ed, you were someone's birthday present. That's nice.
I know.
Yeah,
It was
man.
really nice. I know. It was like a surprise.
That's great.
We played the Gears 5 tech test that they had going, and I've been a big fan of the last 2 Gears of War just because the campaign, the couch co-op has been so much fun, and the campaign is, there's a lot of really good humor in there, and just it's a really good time. It's a very clever couch co-op at times where you're kind of like a Way Out, where you're doing 2 different things, but working toward the same mission. This tech test is really just, it was more kind of like a Call of Duty online multiplayer test. So it wasn't quite, we each kind of played like once, and then we were like, yeah, we've played this game.
This is familiar. Yeah.
Yeah. So it wasn't really, neither one of us are really into that kind of a game. And so we both played it once and we were good to go. But yeah, it was a great day. Other than
That's
that,
awesome.
I've been watching a lot of videos on Overwatch about the new 222 coming up, the new Brigitte changes that are coming, how that affects everything.
What's 222?
You have to choose. They have
3
it set,
twos.
so yeah, you have to. When you play, you have to choose what category you're going to play: healer, damage, or tank.
Okay.
And you can only have 2 of each on a team. So it's 2 healers, 2 damage, 2 tank, and that's going to be like the default from now on.
What?
Really?
Yeah. Now they'll have the classic Overwatch in the arcade, but from now on you'll have to go in and say, I want to play a healer, and they're trying to find a way to kind of balance the game, and so you don't have like, you don't run into a team of just pure DPS and, how do we get past this or whatever. So,
wait. That's the standard. Like if I just went quick play,
Yep.
it's going to be where you have to have 2 of each.
It'll just say when you go in, it'll say, what category do you want to play? And then it'll put you on a team. I don't know how it'll work in a group. Like if you're grouped up with people, I don't know how that works exactly, but yeah, that's what it will do.
My guess is that it's still going to make you choose that just in the, like you'll still, so my understanding of how it's going to work for quick play is that, when you go, let's say you're solo queuing, you're going to go in there, you're going to be presented with a screen or something where you have to choose which category you want to be. And then it throws you into matchmaking to try and team you up with other people that have chosen the other roles.
Right.
I absolutely feel like this is a great idea. Definitely for Overwatch League.
Yeah, I like that.
This is a very good idea for competitive. I think this is a ridiculous idea for quick play.
I agree.
Yeah.
The games already take a long time to
yeah,
find people to play with.
Well, there's that right there. And then the whole other, I feel like this is going to push more of the casual players away. Now, I like that they've said traditional or old school style quick play where you just pick whatever you want is going to be an arcade, and it sounds like it's going to be a mainstay, like always be there. That's great.
Hope so it should.
But I don't know. I mean, I'm willing to give it a shot and wait and see how it happens. But for quick play specifically, I feel like this is a horrible idea.
Yeah,
my knee jerk is to agree with that.
Yeah, that's kind of how I was at first. And then I was like, kind of like what Chris was saying, I'll give it a shot. I'll see what happens. And then I haven't played Overwatch from the beginning. I didn't realize when it first came out, you could have like 3 Symmetras on a team in quick play.
You could have a team full of Symmetras if you wanted.
Right. Yeah. Right. And so that they, and they made that change. And so I'm kind of going in thinking, okay, it'll feel weird at first, but then maybe it'll be a thing where, a month down the road, oh my gosh, I forgot. We used to, it used to be like this.
That's very true. It could be.
I think it'll also help, just as me being kind of the newer player, it will help with finding more heroes to play and getting more comfortable with different heroes to play if yours that you've selected, like if somebody else has picked it,
Yeah.
I don't do tanks very much. I usually do DPS. So, it's good. I don't mind them forcing your hand a little bit, but that shouldn't be the default. That should be an arcade. It should be the exact
I feel
opposite.
like it's backwards. Yeah.
Yeah, it should be the exact opposite. But we'll see.
Well, I think it definitely makes sense, as I was saying earlier, for the competitive stuff. Again, Overwatch League and the competitive playlist, because you really need to have strategy and a well-balanced team and all those kind of things, and be able to not go up against like cheesy kind of compositions and ones that are very hard to overcome, like goats and whatnot. But I don't know. My number one biggest fear is that it already takes forever sometimes to get into a game.
Yes.
Most people want to play some form of DPS.
Right.
And if most people are queuing in, they're like, I'm choosing the DPS role. Like, what if there's let's say there's 1 million people playing, which I know it's more than that, but let's say it's 1 million people playing on your platform, and 50% of them are wanting to play DPS. It's like, well, okay.
Yeah.
We need more people to queue up for tank, and we need more people to queue up for healer. And I mean, for me in particular, I don't think it's going to be a huge problem because I have a handful of characters in every category that I can play. It doesn't matter to me. You know, I can fill in wherever, but I usually do that just in the game anyways. Like if I go in and I see like nobody's wanting to play tank, okay, I'll play tank. Nobody's want to play healer, I'll play healer or whatever. I don't mind filling in. But if I have to pre-queue before getting into the queue, and they have to back all the way back out. And the other thing that they made mention of, again, don't know how this works in a party, but when the game is over, it's going to kick you back to the pick your role screen before putting you back in the queue again.
Yeah.
So at least that's the way it was kind of explained early on. This is all still just hearsay until it actually is implemented.
Right.
But that just sounds like it's going to be a nightmare considering how long currently it can take to sometimes get into a game.
Yeah.
I'm just a little nervous about the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm hoping the wait times aren't too bad. I'm glad that this new character, Sigma, that's coming out is a tank that'll get more people to at least, you know, because they'll want to play him.
Yeah, that's true.
To go in the tank category. That'll be nice.
He looks tough, I must say.
Yeah, he looks tough.
The only thing that's a little weird to me is that don't you think that isn't it like proportionately heavy on the assault characters?
Yes. Yeah.
Where there's like 6 tanks and then like if 25 it feels like assault characters, you know what I mean? That's another thing that's a little bit of a bummer if you're like, hey, you can pick 2 out of 5 over here or 2 out of 13 over here.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see how long the wait times are, just because I mean, we'll wait a little bit while we skirmish or whatever, but you know, in general, we're pretty spoiled as far as, you know, it's not like a lot of people that play games similar. You know, they may have like a 3-minute wait or a 5-minute wait, and you know, we're definitely a little spoiled in that regard. So I'm curious to see what happens.
Yeah, and add that to 5 o'clock in the morning, and you know, my wait time's going to be like 30 minutes at this point. It already takes a while to get.
And we have to remember too that
going.
Maybe because you chose a certain character, maybe it doesn't mean that they'll give it to you.
Well, you don't have to choose the character. You just have to choose the role. Class.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm just thinking, I'm hearkening back to the Yeti thing where like...
I think you're locked into that.
Yeah.
Because remember on the Yeti and the Hunter thing, you'd be like, I want to be a Hunter. And they'd be like, sorry, you have to be a Yeti because for balancing issues.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's possible. That's not something I've seen them talk about, but hey, it's a possibility, especially if, okay, we don't have people that are
we don't have enough.
For this. But then I feel like that too could be problematic because if a person signed up like, I'm going to play DPS, and then they're like, no, guess what? Instead, you're a tank. They'll just back out probably.
Yeah.
And go get another game where they can play DPS or whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like they've got to have confidence in it. They wouldn't be pushing forward with it if they didn't feel like they had it kind of figured out. So
yeah,
I'm willing to give it a go, but I am a little bit nervous about it.
I think one thing it'll do is it might make me play competitive a little more, just because instead of one SR skill rating score, you'll have 3 separate ones. You'll have a healer one, a damage one, and a tank one, and you can kind of see, oh wow, I'm better at this than I thought I was, and you'll get actually more competitive points if you have 3 separate SR scores. So I thought that's kind of cool. It might be a kind of a cool way to gauge how I'm doing. Am I as good as I think I am in a certain role? That kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So I do like that idea of the 3 different skill rating things, and they'll put you in a match also compared to your category skill rating, and I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, I'm really curious to see how it affects just the whole quick play element of it, and what happens with that. Otherwise, other than that, I picked up Wolfenstein Youngblood. And I mean, a big Wolfenstein fan, real excited to get into it. I played about the first hour of it, and it is you can play it solo or you can play it with a friend. I was kind of bummed to find that you can't play it couch co-op with a friend.
Oh, you can't?
You can't, no, which is kind of a bummer. And I decided to, it's Wolfenstein. I enjoyed it. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to wait, and as fun as this is, I'm going to wait and play this with a friend. So I've got a couple people who have said, hey, I want to play this with you, and I'm definitely on board. So looking forward to coordinating time so we can get together and play more of that, because like I said, I love Wolfenstein, and looking forward to getting more into that. I picked up Sea of Solitude this week. It was a game that's getting a lot of really good buzz. I didn't care for it.
Shoot.
I'm in the minority though. Everyone else seems to really, really like it. It just didn't click with me. So I take that with a grain of salt just because I didn't like it on this one. I'm in the vast minority. So it wasn't a huge price to get in. So I wasn't too bummed about not finishing it. It wasn't a rage quit. It was I don't know if I like this quit.
Okay.
A matter of taste quit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'll try the cherry pie instead. Quit.
There you go.
Harry Potter Wizards Unite on the phone, and that's been it for me.
There you go.
Nice. Mr. Patillo,
Yeah.
you golfing? You working on something around the house? What you doing?
Man, it's busy over here. To be on break, it's
Yeah.
busy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But the Stancils flew through town this
That's
last
right.
weekend.
Man.
It was a good time. Good time to see them, get the families
So
back
glad
together.
you
They
guys
were
got to get together.
Good deal.
Yeah, they were here like 2 years ago, probably.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that's
Um,
right.
And we were kind of all looking at pictures and seeing, because adults don't change that much in 2 years,
Mhm.
but the
Mhm.
kids do.
Yeah.
And so I think when they came, maybe it was like a year and a half ago. Milo's still in like the stroller and couldn't walk, and
Mhm.
just seeing his kids were only 7 feet tall at the time. Now they're like
Right.
13 feet tall.
Giants.
Right.
And so it was just great hanging out with Jason and Becky and the kids, Noah and Colin. And so it was a great time to be able to like see them real quick and love on them before they had to fly back home to Seattle. So it's I explained last week, but it's just nice that their side of the family is all on this side of the country, and so
Mhm.
they have to fly out of Nashville when they're seeing Jason's family. Maybe they don't have to, but they do. And so it's always nice to kind of see them, whether they're coming in real quick or leaving out. So that was really nice.
Nice.
Gosh, what else happened? I don't even know. Besides, like that was kind of the highlight of the weekend for me and Jenny, and being able to reconnect with those guys. Man, I really want to finish off Detroit. I feel like I'm right there.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
But man, Apex though.
Yeah.
Like it's a problem. It's
But
a
that
problem.
Apex though. That's
It's
funny.
a problem. I haven't had a problem like this in a long time where I
That's
just
me with Hearthstone, man. I have a
yeah,
problem.
I just can't focus on anything else.
You got to get back on the road again, man.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
I
right?
got to get back on some janky internet, and that'll be definitely an encourager.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so let's see. I'm headed to Texas this weekend. I wish that I was gonna be anywhere close to Chris, but I'm not. We're gonna be in like a bunch
Where
of
are you going?
cities I've never heard of. Midland,
Oh, yeah.
Hidalgo. You ever heard of Hidalgo, Texas?
That was a
No,
great
not
movie.
that
with
one.
Great
Viggo
movie
Mortensen.
though. Yeah,
Yeah.
great movie.
I was going to say, I've heard that movie.
Yeah, and Austin.
I have heard of Austin.
Yeah, I've
Never
heard
heard
of
of
that one too.
Never heard of it.
And
Been there a time or two.
Exactly.
Nice, Ed. Nice.
Then we're coming back, and so we kind of fly out there and drive back. So we'll see. It'll be fine.
You finish up that Detroit then.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I guess I could take it on the plane, huh? That's the only problem. Oh, actually, I think we're loaded. Anyway, yep, that's true. Maybe I'll do that. The only problem is with traveling on the bus is it feels like you have to lock down a room to because the bus has the front lounge where everybody
yeah.
hangs out, the bunk area, then the back lounge. So if I start up the PlayStation in some serious game like that, you kind of feel people like kind of walk in and they kind of give you like, oh, sorry, I did sorry. And you're like, no, I'm just no sorry, like just we can just be playing a game. And
Yeah.
but so we'll see. I don't know. So maybe I will, maybe I won't. It's one of those things where I wish that like number one, the internet's janky, but number two, like remote play has just not been that good for me to
Yeah.
where I'd want to take the DualShock on the road and do it through my PlayStation, do it through my laptop. Maybe I'll try it because that's the path of least resistance as far as like I always travel with my laptop and stuff like that. So maybe I'll try that. I just don't see it going.
Wouldn't
well.
hurt.
Yeah, could hurt. I
No,
could
I mean-
accidentally kill somebody
Could hurt.
on the
That's
one
true.
of my characters. Be like, oh, doggone you, remote play. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, pretty boring around here.
Nice.
Yeah, we're just it's fine. I'm trying to think. It feels like there was something else. I just finished the. No, I think that's it. Yeah. Well, so get this professor. All right.
You said that, Gabe. I forgot. I platinum Detroit this weekend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, nice.
I totally meant to congratulate you on that because I know that you just that's awesome, dude. Because I know you've been playing the heck out of that game.
Right. It was fun. It's a tough one.
What do you have to do to platinum it, Ed?
Everything.
You have to replay that game a lot.
Oh, really?
You have to get like most outcomes or something crazy.
Yeah,
like
you
that?
have to have kill this guy as many times as possible. End the game with everyone alive. End the game with this happening. So yeah, you got to play through. And because one event triggers others, you have to kind of go back and where do I have to go cut this fork off so I make sure I get this ending?
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Yeah, I used a walkthrough.
I know that's right.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then how much stuff opened up to where you were like, wait, what? Like
quite a bit still.
Really? Like even though you've known the game, you've seen it played by other people, there was still surprises.
I still had a completely different final act for someone that was action packed that I had no idea was sitting there waiting for me.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang it.
Dang.
That's
Dang.
awesome. Like it's something
That's
I really want to do.
I was gonna say, for someone who doesn't replay things, does that give you stress knowing
Yes,
that there's all these
it
ways
does.
that you are not gonna ever see?
You're doggone right about that. That's the nail and the hammer.
He's stressing now,
Might
man.
be
Who
the
are you
kind
kidding?
of thing that spurs on change and as you replay things.
No.
Oh,
We grow together, brother.
Well, the whole problem is like I'm having a hard enough time getting through it the first time.
Yeah.
That's true.
So getting through it 7 times is probably definitely not going to happen. And like I've already got like that stress on me, like not that it's a huge deal, but like I'm probably not going to be able to do my New Year's resolution this year, and that sucks.
What was it again? Remind me.
5 2019 games beaten, and I think I've beaten one.
Well, each time you get a win in Apex, count that as beating it.
There you go.
That's not a 2019. Oh, is that a 2019 game? Holy crap!
Yeah, it came out in February.
Did it really? Is that it?
Yep.
Jeez Louise.
Dropped out of the blue, and I think it was February. Might have been
Turn it
March, but I think it's February.
That's crazy.
That's amazing.
Yeah, man.
Tim Router.
So. Oh yeah.
You got it.
Uh-huh.
Well, let's do it.
All right, new releases. Here we go. Blackout Club for the PC, PS4, and Xbox One. Mutant Year Zero: Seed of Evil for the PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. Ace Combat 7: Skies Unknown. ADFX-01 Morgan DLC.
Whoa.
Fortnite Season 10, August 1st, dropping.
Yep.
PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. And of course, and as always, Madden 20 for the PC, PS4, and Xbox One comes out August 2nd.
There we go.
We did have a couple oops. Nathan Dugas, you can buy a single Joy-Con for $50.
What?
Or a set for $80.
That's
a better
crazy.
deal.
Yeah. And then
$50
Ryan Straub, Portal
True.
2 did have a ping communication system when playing co-op similar to Apex. So there was a ping
I wonder
system.
what you would ping. Like, I'm gonna go through this portal.
Right, exactly.
I never played Portal 2, so I don't know what else there was to do. I mean, I'm sure there was block moving and whatnot, but
Sure. Yeah, I don't know.
Interesting. Did not know that.
Very good. Thank you very much for that. I forgot to do NPD last week, so let's do it this week, shall we?
Yeah.
We've got NPD for June. This is U.S. Sales.
Bubba.
No, there's no bubba here.
Okay.
We are down. We are down to so it's 959 million, which is 13% lower than last year. And that's a combination of video game hardware, software, and accessories. Basically, hardware sales are continuing to plummet for Microsoft and Sony as this current console generation is coming to an end. So nobody's really buying hardware as much because of that.
Sure.
But we do have some interesting stuff on best-selling games. Here we go. Number 10 for June, Days Gone. Number 9.
Yeah. Wow. Forgot about that.
Yeah, that was
Right,
a game
exactly.
that came out. Ed beat it.
Yeah, you and Ed, you platinumed it, didn't you?
No.
Let's not get
But he
crazy.
beat it.
Yeah.
Yes, you did beat it. Number 9, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Number 8, NBA
Mario
2K19.
Wow.
Always, man, always. Number 7, Marvel's Spider-Man.
Ooh, that's
Hey, there you go.
Very cool.
That one's
Number
breaking all kind of records too, right? That Spider-Man
It's crushing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the highest selling
superhero.
comic book video game, or superhero
Yeah,
video
superhero
game or something like that.
It's great. Number 6, Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. Number 5, Minecraft comes back in.
Look at that.
Wow.
Number 4, Grand Theft Auto 5. Freaking 4.
Lord
2015
have
game,
mercy.
people.
What happened?
Number 3, Mortal Kombat 11. Number 2, Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled.
Crash Bandicoot. Yeah. Sorry,
Right.
just think about old games that are still on the thing.
Yep. And number 1, Super Mario Maker 2.
There
So
you go.
consumers are still hungry for software, even though they aren't buying many new consoles. And that leads to situations where big new games are selling very well. And that's what happened with Mortal Kombat 11 and Crash Team Racing and Super Mario Maker 2. The excitement for the new Spider-Man movie, Far From Home, also drove fans back to Sony's hit game, Spider-Man. And it's also worth noting, Red Dead Redemption 2 has not replaced Grand Theft Auto 5 as Rockstar's money-making game.
Yeah.
GTA 5 ended the month as number 4 best-selling game. Red Dead has dropped down to number 12 behind Rainbow Six Siege.
It makes sense.
But didn't Red Dead I know that their online, Red Dead Online, whatever it's called, has been there a while, but didn't it only really just officially crank out? Like, wasn't it in a big, long beta version, really?
I don't think that has anything to do with it.
I think that's the only reason it has to do with it, because I think the main reason GTA keeps staying in place is because you have to buy that game to play GTA Online.
Yeah, but I also think
And that's where I think everybody's spending all their time.
They
is in
also
GTA
released
Online.
their casino. Online
which is in
stuff too,
GTA
though.
Online.
Yeah, I also think
Yeah.
though the draw between the times are just different.
I agree.
I think people would rather play the characters in Grand Theft Auto than the Wild Wild West.
I do agree
Yeah.
with you that Grand Theft Auto is probably overall has more appeal, but I feel like the reason that I feel like it's more indicative that their online stuff isn't quite all up to snuff yet, that it's not doing better than it did. It may still not beat GTA, but I think the reason that it's such a disparity is because the online stuff is much well established in GTA as of now, whereas in Red Dead, it's just getting going.
Right.
I feel like
yeah.
6 months, a year down the road, we're going to see, it may not be overtaking GTA, but I feel like Red Dead Online, when it's off and popping, it'll go up higher, unless it's just not interesting. I mean, that's possible. But
Right.
I think it's going to be that one. Like, I don't know if you get like in GTA, what I think you can get the shiny new things where does anything feel new and shiny in Red Dead? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Everything feels slow and uninteresting.
Shiny nickel.
Mhm.
Ugh.
Well, and
Yeah.
especially if you've got so much invested in GTA already,
Yeah.
it's like, do I want to start all over again, or do I want to keep rocking with my millions of dollars I've got here in GTA?
Interesting.
Yep. Yeah, that's very true. That is. Oh, I meant to say this last week. Some sad news. For all you '80s babies out there, Rutger Hauer passed away last week. He was in Blade Runner and Batman Begins, and so I was like, "Meh, that's kind of sad."
I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah,
You know
he
him
was-
if you see him.
Yeah, you would totally know him. If
He
you
was
see
in
him.
Batman Begins?
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
What? Huh. I did not know that.
But
That's the one I've seen the least of those three, but
Yeah, but for me, he was just huge in Blade Runner, and then he did a lot of like those '80s B movies, which is always awesome.
Mhm.
But yeah, so
movies.
R.I.P. to Rutger Hauer. That is it for me. Back to karaoke with Chris.
Yeah.
I'm practicing. I got to get ready for the next
Yeah,
karaoke.
exactly. Get out of your falsetto. It's not what this is for.
Oh man.
He was also the lead character in that game Observer that was out by Bloober Studios, the people that did Layers of Fear. He was in their follow-up game. He was the lead character in that.
Oh, really? I
Huh.
did not know
Yep.
that. Interesting.
He was also in Kingdom Hearts 3.
Look at that.
Hey.
So I did hear him as of recently. That was my
See?
only 2019 game I beat. Was Kingdom Hearts 3.
He was also in the British military. I made that
Oh.
up. He was not.
I was about to say, I was like, he's from the Netherlands. That's weird.
I just
Yeah,
thought we were
he's
saying
Danish.
cool things. So I was like, oh, I got something.
We weren't just making up things.
That's right.
Right.
Lord have mercy.
Back to you and your fake news.
I just wanted to be part of the thing.
He just wanted to feel
He
included.
failed
He's not an
miserably.
80s, he's not an 80s baby.
Oh my God. Go
that's
sit in
It
the
was the
corner,
real
Chris.
007. Imagine that. It was based off his life.
Oh.
He hated cheese.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to you.
Yes.
Yes. So just to have a few sales numbers because it's getting that time where we have, just like with the MPD, as he was mentioning, we have some other information about some different things that we want to chat on. Sony
Yeah.
has officially
exactly.
surpassed 100 million PS4 sold. This last quarter, they sold
Yeah.
3.2 million, which is put them square at 100 million PS4 sold. So that puts them, if you're excluding handheld consoles, that puts them at third place in the list of home, like traditional style consoles. The Wii, I believe the Wii had 101.6, something like that. So it seems like it's all but inevitable that they are going to overtake that and then take that number 2 slot. That'll be right behind the PlayStation 2, which is sitting pretty at 155 million.
Goodness
I don't know
gracious.
if it'll end up taking over that.
No, it won't.
I feel like it's probably going to cement itself, at least for the time being, at second place. And then we'll just have to see if next gen, one of the systems like is a real huge standout and overpasses it going forward. One other thing that they had mentioned in the earnings call that I thought was kind of interesting is Sony revealed that digital download shares had passed the 50% mark. Meaning that now more people are purchasing digital than physical for their system. I thought that was interesting. I think that's the first of any of the people that report that type of data that it's crossed over the 50% line to the majority, so to speak.
Right.
So that was interesting. I mean, I feel like it's something that we all expect to happen at some point, anyways. But to see it actually start to happen is something that was like, all right. Well, I kind of was expecting it to be next gen where that really made the big huge push. But it looks like it's moving that way for Sony. And then also Nintendo Switch announced that they have hit 36.8 million Switch systems. And their sales numbers are their growth is tracking right on par with the PlayStation 4. So I had mentioned earlier that, the PlayStation 4 is likely going to move up in that number 2 slot unless something overtakes it. The way that the Switch is selling, if it continues on this trajectory, it could meet it right there or pass it, somewhere down the road. It depends on how quickly Nintendo comes out with another version of hardware. And I would assume that, I don't know how this stuff all gets reported, but I'm assuming like the light switch and whatever this new longer battery version of Switch just counting those same numbers. Maybe the light switch doesn't. Maybe that's kind of counted as a separate device. I'm not really sure how that would go.
think they would count it as the same thing.
It made
I
it
know the
sound like in the
PlayStation-
article that they were going to.
Yeah, I know the
lumped them together.
PlayStation 4 and the Pro, just like the Xbox One and Xbox One
Yeah.
X, those count as just Xbox or just
yeah,
PlayStation. So I'm assuming it'd be the same for the Switch, but I didn't know if it was different enough because it can't dock to a TV that I don't know. I'm not sure how that all gets quantified.
Yeah.
But still super impressive numbers for it.
I would think that like mixed in the 3DS numbers was the new 3DS.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have started over like, and the new 3DS has sold 5,000 units. You know what I'm saying? Like they just
Right.
lump them all together. I think what too is really interesting about this, number one, that digital is overtaking physical. That's very important, especially for developers, because there's just more money in digital than physical. You can't resell, you can't, things like that. But what's crazy, I was wondering, how come we felt the Wii's sales more than the PS4 sales? It felt like, is it just because the Wii had the better out of the gate
Probably, right?
than the PS4? Because it felt like they're sold out everywhere. Oh, you got to try to get your hands on one. Like it felt like I felt the Wii sales more than I felt the PS4 sales for them to end up really close to each other. It's crazy.
Well,
Yeah.
I think it's a couple of things. One, be it real or not, because people debate it one way or the other. But there's the whole fact that Nintendo has the scarcity, so to speak, all the time, whether or not it's deliberate or something they actually make happen to make it seem more popular than it is at the moment or enticing. They have that, which there's always hard to get whenever a new Nintendo comes out. It's usually difficult. And then 2, the Wii was one of those consoles where people of all walks of life were interested in it.
Yeah.
Whereas the PlayStation 4, I don't feel like
It was same
appealed
old,
to
same
your
old.
grandma or these other people. It
Yep.
was just the gamers, and the gamers were at a point where they were really looking for something new and different. And they had the whole really good out of the gate with all the correct, so to speak, air quotes here, messaging and the right price and all that kind of
Right.
stuff. It just was kind of like lightning in a bottle type of thing. Because the PS4 is still the fastest selling the console to get to 100 million the fastest. So it even got to 100 million faster than the Wii did. But like you're saying, it feels like the Wii was just gangbusters from the very get-go and just always stayed that way, even though the timelines and you look at the data and stuff, there may be some variance there.
Do you think
But
it's the
the Wii was
Wiimotes?
just
It's how you played it, right? Like it was.
I
we
think
had,
so.
We had not
So different.
had that yet. We were still in the controller age when they introduced kind of this. And of course there's other things that did it, but like I felt like the Wii was the first thing to say like almost everything you're gonna play like this, and all the commercials are people up and jumping around and doing things,
Yeah.
kind of like Pokemon Go. It wasn't the first time to ever do that, but maybe it was just better and more polished. So many things are timing. We talk about it all the time in music. Like just because a song is good doesn't mean it goes number one. Like sometimes all the stars have to align. And when we go back and look at the numbers too, being a PlayStation guy over a 360 guy, you would think if you just used your pop culture knowledge that the 360 slaughtered the PS3. It just wasn't the case. Like the PS3 ends up outselling the Xbox 360. And so
at the end of the
at the
It's such a marathon. It's such a marathon with those consoles too, though. So it's one of those things where they didn't come out like gangbusters, but it was just a slow roll, which to me I think is always a better way to do it. And I feel like you get a more organic install base, and I think it just kind of sets the tone for a better console sales for you anyway. If you can not just lightning fast come out at the gate and then you peter out, but if you have longevity, that's always a great thing.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, just looking at some of these numbers and some of the graphs they put up, like even to think that the PS4 also beat the PS2 to that number, where the PS2, ends up selling more than, the PS4. But that's just, I don't see the PS4 getting there only because of backwards compatibility with the PS5, where, we had the backwards compatibility at first with the PS3 to PS2, but then that pretty quickly went away, it felt like. And so you kind of needed to have a PS2. Not that you were going out and buying new ones at that point, but man, that's interesting.
And the whole DVD player thing, which back then for the PS2, that was a huge reason, because the PS2 was a little bit similar as the Wii, where like people you didn't expect to be buying a game console bought a game console because it was also a DVD player.
Yep.
So there were you would find, maybe not grandmas, but you would find people, our parents, that would buy one and they'd have it in their living room because they're using it as a DVD player back then, not because they were playing games. Whereas the Wii, I think it literally just appealed to a lot of people. A lot of people were like, oh, I want to do the little bowling, or I want to play the tennis where I swing the controller. Like that would appeal to even, the casual people that didn't really care about gaming. That looked like a fun thing to do for 10 minutes and, or whatever at a time. It had just had that kind of mass appeal that just really everybody could gravitate. Everybody could understand how that worked. Whereas a traditional game where you're having to move a D-pad and hit buttons on certain areas to do things, that can be a little more intimidating to someone who's not really a gamer than just, move this wand this way and hit that virtual ball,
Yeah.
That's a lot more like, oh, I can wrap my head around that kind of thing.
Yes. Yeah.
Definitely helped the Wii in the early days and then throughout its lifespan.
Yeah, that's so crazy, man. The numbers are just, they definitely tell such a different story, Chris, like you're saying, from what we believe is going on. That's awesome. So I don't know if you guys were ever this, Chris, maybe you were a little bit. Were any of you guys homebrew guys? Like, did you ever hack your phone or do anything like that coming up?
No, I didn't. I mean, there were a few things that I did. But but nothing. I never got really super into it. I was always scared of breaking something and not having the money to buy another one.
Yeah,
Exactly.
So
Yep.
Yes. Yeah. Well, it's a website I used to go to all the time. It's called XDA Developers. Just from back in the day where I used to hack my phones all the time because I used to like be really into, because it was Android and because you could, I was always into hacking my phone. So like, and I hacked my PSP. Which one had the IR sensor on it? I think it was the PSP.
I don't
Was it
remember
the
which one
Vita?
had an IR sensor, but I do know the PSP was big in the homebrew community.
Yeah.
So it's probably that one.
Yeah, and so I after I'd kind of gotten because like Chris is saying, I don't want to break anything because I'm not trying to buy it over again. But after I'd kind of done my thing with the PSP, I started getting into the homebrew thing and seeing all the things that you could put on there. And the hackers have been at it with this Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
And they've been trying to hack it every other kind of way. And obviously it's Nintendo, so things are locked down pretty tight. But as we know, we've said it on the podcast before, hackers are amazing. And they pull off things that you wouldn't think possible. And now they've got Android running on the Nintendo Switch, which I really want to try. Like, I mean,
Really?
yes, only because they can do this, it just opens up the Switch to being this thing that like the thing you want it to be.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like as of now, I don't think there's Netflix or Hulu or any of that on the Nintendo. I think YouTube's on there though, right? I can't remember. But I've never done YouTube on my Switch. But the Switch would be a great place for Netflix and Hulu, and you know, it's a big phone. You know what I'm saying? It's a big mobile device, and it's not the weakest thing on the planet. And so, man, oh man, like now everything obviously is still in hack world, and Nintendo is not putting their stamp on any of this. But I think the Switch at the end of its life, if it were to open up to Android, I think that like. Yowzers. I think it could be a really cool thing. I don't know what other device out there besides the Nintendo Switch. The PSP was kind of like this, when I was messing around with it, but it still felt really archaic. Even when I was doing it at the time, I was like, oh, this is really jarbly and like, the screen's small and low res but man, if the Switch, like, I could see it having just a huge homebrew community and turning into something really special.
They have a decent, as I understand it, a little homebrew kind of community thing going on for the Vita as well. But I never really looked into it super because, again, I have one Vita and I don't want to jack it up.
Right.
Because I wanted to buy another one, so I didn't mess with it. But I do know that there's been a lot of different things, especially now that the Vita's, end of life kind of thing and they're not really worrying about it. It's like people are figuring out how to break that. And it's like Sony's not more than likely not going to worry about putting out another patch to block it again kind of thing,
Right.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and I mean, like, because of the innards or whatever, they've been able to get like the NVIDIA Shield stuff going on it. So people are playing Portal and Half-Life 2 and things like that on Nintendo, which you would have never, ever played
Crazy.
on Nintendo. And so, listen, I don't know. I just love it. I think hackers and the things they do are pretty incredible. I think they're almost not that they're evil, but they're necessary evil. I think it's something that keeps us honest. It keeps security high. We need people that are poking and prodding and trying to figure out things because things can get better. And I think that sometimes we're like, oh, that could never happen on XYZ. And then a hacker does it. And you're like, oh, well, the thing happened on the XYZ. And so I don't know. I liked this when I saw it. And they were saying in this story from The Verge that the hybrid console gets access to Netflix, YouTube, Spotify, Twitch, and a bunch of other, Android apps that you would be, playing on your phone. But because of the touch screen and everything like that, you can play it on Nintendo Switch. It's called Switch Root Android. So if you want to go check it out over on the XDA developers forums, go do it. I think it's super cool. I love this stuff. The Fortnite World Cup. The Fortnite World Cup was this last week.
Yeah, it was.
Which was very cool. I didn't watch a whole lot of it, but funny enough, one of my buddies, his name's Nick West, he was on the road with us for a while doing video and lights and stuff like that. And then he moved on to bigger and better pastures with Taylor Swift and all these other people.
Nice.
And he sent me a text the other day, and he was like, well, so I'm here. And I was like, what's here? And he's showing me all this scaffolding and everything. And he was a camera guy at the World Cup.
Oh, that's
wow.
awesome.
Get out.
Fortnite World Cup. And I was like, oh, that's open. That's sick. I was like, where is it at? And he's like, it's where they do the US Open. It's at Arthur Ashe Stadium in New York. And I was like, oh, that's super cool. I love tennis, like I've talked about. And so he was just talking about how it's a little janky behind the scenes just because that's where he's at. But yeah, so the Fortnite World Cup happened and people won a lot of money.
Yeah,
That's
they did.
for sure.
A lot of young people won a lot of money.
Yes, sir. Like people that still live at home.
Yeah.
And so what I didn't know was that the Fortnite World Cup had online events over 10 weeks between April and June to get the people together to place for this. And what you would do is, I guess every other week, they would have these, big regionals that people could play in. And if you placed in the top 10 of that, then you would get down to a smaller group. And this was going every other week between solos and duos. Until, they reached all the people that they were going to have come out for the World Cup. And then you got paid to come. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I just figured you went for free.
Oh.
You got paid a lot of money to come. So the players that reached the finals got $50,000 each just for reaching the finals. Yeah. And so what I loved about this was it put a I don't know what a good word for it is, but it put a price on the fact that you're good at this. And like, we're not asking you to just come for free, or we're not just paying for your travel or whatever, but we're putting big money, just like if you were to be a pro at a lot of sports that we're used to. You know what I'm saying? People obviously don't play for free or just feel like, oh, we get to go to the World Cup. So we're going to, I'll pay whatever to get there. And so $50,000 was a lot of money.
Yeah.
With the total prize for solos being $3 million and for duos being split $3 million. I thought this was really cool. I wish I would have watched it. I didn't watch it though. Did you guys watch any of it?
I didn't see it, no.
I didn't even know what was going on, honestly.
Oh, really?
Until after the fact, yeah.
Yeah. So the solos winner, Kyle Booga Giersdorf, won $3 million. I think he's 16 years old or something like that. Something crazy.
Ridiculous.
He got to go on Fallon, which is super
That's
nice.
so cool.
Yeah, and so they gave him a little spot on there. I don't know, and this might just be the growing pains of the thing. Like once your thing starts hitting pop culture, I'm gonna imagine this is how like emo kids felt when emo started like kind of taking over in the 90s, where you look at it as something that's a huge part of your life, but then when you hear other people talk about it, they make it sound kind of stupid. So like all you kids like dress in black, or you know what I'm saying, like those kind of questions. And so like I felt like I haven't watched Jimmy Fallon in a while, but I felt like Fallon kind of did that with this. He was like, so like, what's your day look like? And he's like a school day or a regular day? He's like, I don't know, like let's go with the weekend. He's like, oh, I get up at noon, and the whole place groans. Oh gosh, yeah, gets up at noon. Must be the rough life. But you're like, do we not, anybody remember being teenagers? Like, didn't we all sleep as long as we could?
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And he's probably playing Fortnite till 1 a.m. anyway.
Exactly.
He's probably playing till 4 a.m. Like, probably getting
honest,
the same amount of sleep as regular people.
We probably all still wish we could sleep until noon.
Yeah,
that's right.
Oh, man. I'm definitely not a morning guy. I know Tim is, but I definitely would sleep till noon if I could. My wife would sleep till 3.
Right.
That's amazing.
So happy for Kyle. $3 million. And it seems like, it's a slow grow for all these guys, right? He talked about Fallon talking to him about like, what'd your parents think when you were first doing this? And he was talking about doing little tournaments in town and coming home with $100 and things like that and working his way up. And then you get signed to a team and I don't know how it works with like Adidas and Nike, like, but do they supported some of these things though, right? We know Under Armour did and stuff like that. So
yeah, they're sponsors.
Yeah. So I know that they're bringing in more money than we probably all realize.
Yeah.
So I just, when your thing gets brought to the main stage, like every time I get excited when I see Overwatch on ESPN or ABC And then, you know, Apex was on there a couple weeks ago, and I was texting these guys like, Apex is on ESPN. This is awesome. And so, you know, getting to watch it. But one of the reasons we brought this story up was Chris sent us a little side story about this, which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah, so the duos winner, the people who got second place was this 15-year-old kid named Jaden and his partner David. But Jaden, they were kind of doing an interview with him and his mom. And his mom, as you can imagine, a lot of parents these days, they don't think about gaming as being something that you can actually earn a living at, you know, make a career out of. Jaden's mom revealed that in recent years, like was not down with the whole video gaming, and like really wanted him to focus more on his schoolwork, you know, as you think most parents probably would. Yeah. She said a quote. She said, "If I'm honest with you, I've been quite against him gaming. I've actually thrown out an Xbox and snapped a headset. We've had a nightmare."
That's so funny.
And it's insane because, you know, on top of that, so when he won the second place, he took home $2.2 million.
Yeah, or they probably split $2.2 million. Right?
Yeah,
yeah.
But he's basically said, you know, with the winnings, he's planning to buy his mom a house.
Exactly.
So,
I love it.
You know, of course,
so
moms,
awesome.
you know, like flip the script and like, oh, it was such a joy being in New York, and this gaming is so
We've made
wonderful.
lifelong friends.
Exactly. Yeah. So of course now it's all legit, and I mean. We know, like, we're kids and wives 9 to 5s, but we're married to the game. So we know, we follow this kinds of stuff. We know that competitive gaming is like a legit thing, and you can like earn real money doing it and all that. I just thought it was insane how it's kind of, you're kind of getting some perspective. And like they were talking earlier about the kid that won, Kyle, the solos competition, he got the 3 million. ESPN had put up this tweet like congratulating him. And it, you know, had like this little image that was kind of comparing it. And it said, okay, so he won 3 million for winning this. The 2019 Wimbledon winner won 2.9. The Masters winner won 2 million, and then the 2019 PGA winner won 1.9 million.
Right.
It's like this kid's winning more than, you know, air quote here, legit sports winners. That, you know, and I don't feel like most people granted, Tiger Woods, which is the one who had won the Masters, sure, he was a phenom as a young age, but I mean, I doubt many people were giving him a hard time. Like, well, but if you study more algebra, you know, that's
right. Yeah.
I mean, it's just kind of crazy when you really think about it and put it into perspective. It's like, yes, it's a long shot for anybody to make it, you know, as a basketball superstar, just like it would be a video game superstar. But it's like, it's still a thing that could happen. And if this child of yours is showing real talent at it, I mean, you could end up getting a house.
Right.
That's the moral of this story.
Exactly. So, you know, you might, I mean, I'm sure you do need to put limits and, you know, make sure that they're well-rounded and everything like that, but, you know, maybe encourage it a little bit more.
And what's interesting is that, like, it's all games, right? They're all games. Mm-hmm. Football's a game. Basketball's a game. Golf is a game. These are video games, right? And so what's so interesting about it, and I think the mindset is starting to switch now that there's such big numbers getting thrown behind it. But number one, big numbers have been getting thrown behind gaming. It's just so underground and hadn't hit pop culture, you know, but the Evo things and the fighting tournaments that we've seen that fill up arenas, like that's been going on for years. But what's interesting is that, like, just like Chris said, like Tiger Woods' dad brought a golf club to him when he was like 4 or 5. It was like, swing this, swing this, swing this. And he was pruned and raised to play golf.
Right.
You know, these guys, especially like, you got to realize, Fortnite's like 2 years old. Mm-hmm. So these aren't even games that these kids have been playing since they were 5. Yeah. Now they've been playing just games. You know, Jaden talked about watching his uncle play Gears of War and really liking it and starting on a controller when he was like 6 years old and starting to play things like that. And so, yes, they've been gaming their whole lives, just like I have, just like Chris has. But it really is a weird thing when you look at it, because Toby, a lot of my older friends still poo-poo the video game thing.
Yeah, they don't get it.
Yeah, which is fine, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, but I love that these numbers are getting thrown behind. One thing I think they'll say, though, is like, you know, in tennis, you have, I think, 7 times of the year to probably win that kind of money.
Okay, right.
When it, you know, it's not just Wimbledon that happens. You know what I'm saying? There's a bunch of, you know, things that happen. And, you know, this is the first Fortnite World Cup, but I would imagine that it took tennis a lot longer than 2 years to get to where they were giving away $3 million because they're still not giving away $3 million yet.
Yeah.
Right.
I just love how in like a lot of athletic activities, you'll have like the soccer mom or like the dance mom who's like kind of pushing her daughter to do it because she's living vicariously through. Or
Yeah.
you'll have the dad who just is, you're going to play football and you're going to win and you're going to be the champ. And I can't wait for the next generation to be like, you're going to play Fortnite.
Yeah.
You gotta be good at it.
That's right. Now you sit here and you play Fortnite.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
It's literally the best babysitter.
Yeah.
But I love this. Congratulations to everybody that was out there. I mean, just getting there, obviously. I think even if you got there and you got last place, but you got $50,000, that's still nothing to sneeze at, right?
No, not a bit.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And so hopefully these parents are like, all right. Listen, you could live off this $2 million for a long time. Like I think in my whole, life of working, I haven't reached $2 million yet. I'm 37 years old. And
That's
so,
right.
there's hopefully there's going to be plenty of people knocking on their doors, but hopefully they're smart with this money. And
Yeah.
this is the one time that you're like, don't be a 15-year-old with this money.
Don't blow it in a week.
Yeah, exactly. Don't spend it on V-Bucks,
Right.
please.
Right.
So,
Don't buy skins.
yeah. Another thing I thought was interesting, they said that 2 million. So in the stadium was sold out. 23,700 people.
Wow. That's amazing.
That's a bunch.
Yeah.
This was the number, though, that got me. They said an estimated 2 million viewers were on Twitch and YouTube. That seemed
That's
low
it?
to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems low.
That seemed really low. And so, I think we're going to start having those conversations of like, why isn't this on TV? Why isn't we like what they should have put this on? And you're like, I mean, I feel you, but 2 million for television is not that much.
No.
Just to compare it, the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, everybody's watching that. That has a viewership, and it was down this year, of 98.2 million people.
Mm.
Oh, wow.
So we have a ways to go yet, but not
That's
saying
little.
that it doesn't deserve to be on television in like the middle of the day on like a Thursday.
Right. Right.
I still think that
Yeah.
should happen.
Absolutely.
Chris, you got anything else?
I'm out.
Edward,
Yes, sir.
what you got for us, bruv?
Over on the Married to the Games YouTube channel, we've got Borderlands 2 Part 7 is up there. Kind of streamlining my way through there, kind of sticking more to the main story missions. Just trying to avoid burnout right now, to be honest with you.
Are you?
Well,
Nice.
and because I've also been playing it offline with Sarah, the same game.
You're playing
I'm
a lot
reaching
of
that
it.
point where, you know what? I'm just going to do the main missions on online just because, it's a lot of Borderlands. Those games are huge.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
So just trying to get through that. We've got some free games.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. From what I read, the PlayStation will announce their games later this afternoon. So we'll have those for you next week.
Of course.
Of course. Games with gold for the Xbox, Gears of War 4 for the month of August. Also August 1st through the 15th, Torchlight on Xbox 360, backwards compatible.
Mm.
Forza Motorsport 6 from August 16th to September 15th.
Put that thing in sport.
Beep, beep. Castlevania Lords of Shadow, August 16th through the 31st. And then over on Games Pass for console and PC, Worms WMD, and on PC, Unavowed.
Ooh.
So it's kind of weird to have console and PC together and or separate under Game Pass now that PC's got their Game Pass going.
Yes, that's true. And
There you go.
That thing is going. And
Yeah, it is.
speaking of Game Pass, we asked you guys last week. Every week we ask you a question. Last week was no different. We said, what do you think the best value in gaming is? And everybody said Game Pass.
It's crazy.
And so, I mean, obviously Game Pass is doing something right. But to break it down just a little bit, we'll start over on Facebook, the non-Game Pass answers.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Tim Paulin on Facebook. He said Xbox backwards compatibility. 360 games are dirt cheap, and some have been upgraded graphically. True. Travis Pops himself, for me, Destiny. I've purchased every part of this epic game and have spent close to 2,000 hours over the life of the game. It's pennies on the dollar for value, but the friends and memories that have been made are priceless.
That's awesome.
Very true. Mason Schultz, waiting 1 year and getting AAA games for $10 to $20.
Nice.
Switch excluded. That's totally true. That is a great value. Alex Perez Chalfie, second shout out of the podcast. He said borrowing a game from a friend
Nice.
is the best value in gaming.
Nice.
That's funny. Over on Twitter, we got at Dopalicious Splig. Gotta go with Ajax Legends, Fork Knife, Clash Royale, Hearthstone. Basically the best free-to-play games out there. You can enjoy 100% of the game for free. Value of free equals infinite.
Nice.
That's very true. And those
Good
games
point.
too, all those games that you mentioned, Ajax, Fork Knife, Clash Royale, Hearthstone, none of those have ads,
Yeah.
which is important to
insane.
factor in when you're talking about free games, because there's a bunch of free games out there that just pelt you the whole time with
Yes.
ads. Fetty Bringers at Fed Gamer, PS4 and Xbox One at the moment. Both consoles are nearing the end of their life cycles, so they can both be purchased at great prices and have a full catalog of titles, a lot of which are also for sale at reduced prices. That's very true. Game Pass. Over on Discord, Jared Orr, he said it was Best Buy's Gamers Club.
R.I.P.
Yes, RIP for sure. Lord
That was
Zukor,
mine.
I'm going to say gaming in general is a great value. I can either spend $20 to go see a movie for 2 to 3 hours, or I can buy a $60 game and spend anywhere from 10 to 300 hours in it.
Yep.
Yep.
Gaming is where it's at. Hollywood Bone.
I'm coming up for my birthday.
He said the $1 it takes to get in this Discord. Ooh.
Oh, snap.
Oh, there it is.
Thank you guys so much for answering the questions. You know where to find us. Facebook.com/married to the games. Twitter.com/MTTGcast. Of course, marriedtothegames.com. Like Ed said, YouTube.com/married to the games. And as Hollywood Bones said, on Patreon, if you want to come support the show, go to patreon.com/MTTG. Throw $1 in the tip jar. We appreciate it. And you'll get a bunch more friends and places to share. Just all kind of stuff. Like we've talked about before, the Real Talk channel, on and popping, man. People going through stuff, people encouraging each other. We got music, people talking tech, obviously all the consoles. It's a good time over there. People are cracking up. We say morning to each other every day. Morning.
We have a new joke channel.
Morning. Oh, we got a new joke channel?
Yeah, we do.
Do you have one on there that you like? Do you have a joke on there that you've seen
I don't have
recently?
it pulled up. I didn't. I didn't.
Oh, you just thought you'd throw that out there?
Yeah, I was just throwing it out. I thought we were just
action.
naming off things, like earlier. When I said, except this one was true. I wasn't lying.
Okay, how about
Rutger
this?
Hauer was in Frozen.
Yeah. Let's see. Why don't ants get sick?
Yes. Oh.
I don't know.
Because they have little antibodies.
I like Mal Corvus's. That's the woman walks into a library, asks if they had any books on paranoia, and the librarian says, "They're right behind you."
They're right behind
Oh,
you.
nice.
Oh my!
Nice.
Yes.
Jokes?
There's a meme of what's this bad guy's name? Ganondorf.
Is that who that is? I had no idea. That one went over my head.
Yeah, Ganon, whatever his name is from Zelda. He said, I can't surf the internet. There's too many links.
Then Stillwater Jack replies, "This channel needs to be renamed #punishment."
That's a good joke.
That's funny. Yeah, so come. That's a good time.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Why do you not play cards in the jungle, Ed?
I don't know. Why don't you play cards in the jungle, Gabe?
There's too many cheetahs.
Ooh.
All right. There's also hashtag this is just for Chris. Hashtag Chris runs the Discord.
That's right.
I love it. I love it. Chris.
Yes. Rate us on iTunes.
Got him.
Because where else can you talk about games and life and blood blisters?
Oh my gosh.
Nice. Well done. Well done.
Good Lord. Jeez Louise. Good job, Chris.
you killed him on that one, Chris.
Jeez.
What a
Tree Fitty.
What a callback.
Tree Fitty.
Oh man. This is gonna be hard to ramp up here. Well, let's get into some questions.
Discord, Lord Zukor. I've been a homeowner for 1 week now.
Hey!
And we spending all kinds of money. Yes, you are. But there's a lot of things we're excited to need and use, like a bucket and a garden hose. What was something you were excited to buy when you got your first home?
The thing we forgot to buy was toilet paper.
Oh no!
Because the house didn't come with it.
Mm-hmm.
So you were excited to
and
get
so
that.
we were like, ooh, let's go get some toilet paper for our new house. Chris?
Honestly, the thing was light bulbs, because we wanted to
Yeah.
change out all of ours to, at the first house, it was energy efficient ones. The second house, it was changing out to ones that could turn on with my voice.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Right.
That's right. I like it. Ed?
Yeah, I'm one of those weirdos. I was excited to buy paint to paint some of the rooms inside, just
Nice.
to change it up.
That's right. You do have that bug.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always excited when the cable and internet is hooked up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that too.
Ooh,
It's always a good thing.
I like that.
Bad Gamer Elite, that Lem guy. The family and I just watched Dumbo 2019 last night. Well, they did. I watched the first 20 minutes and dad napped. But the premise seemed the same. African elephant born to an Asian elephant and gets made fun of for what becomes his biggest strength. What is the one thing you got picked on for that turned you into your in your face talent?
Oh.
What is the one thing you
wow.
got picked on that you turned around and created an in your face talent?
Probably theater. I think just being on stage and, when you're in high school, that's not necessarily the cool crowd, as I found out over and over again. But then I think too, the ability to, we did this play, I don't remember what it was called, but we did this play where I was the comic relief. And what was interesting was theater's nerdy. Nobody knows you. You do a play that they force the whole school to go to, and then you're the comic relief, and then you're popular for like the rest of the year. Because I was, hey, weren't you the guy that did I was that for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
And so I think the ability to be able to have a little comic timing and things like that became my in your face superpower. Yeah. Chris?
Man, I don't know that I have an answer, because I don't feel like any of the things I got made fun of necessarily I turned around to be like an in your face kind of thing. I mean, I got made fun of for being short. I got fun of for being pasty. I got fun of for being a redhead. I got fun of for my last name. I got made fun of for a lot of stuff, and I don't feel like any of them turned into a bam, there you go kind of thing. So
You're right. I can get sunburned quickly. Ha ha.
dang right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Watch me put this sunscreen on.
So, shoot, I really don't know if I have an answer.
Yeah, that's a tough one for sure. What say you, Edward?
I'm kind of the same as Chris. I didn't really, I was pretty fortunate. I had a pretty good childhood. I didn't really, I don't really remember being made fun of incessantly for any one thing,
Ooh, I got made fun of a lot.
Yeah, kind of
Boy.
got out easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you, Ed and Chris. I didn't really get picked on either.
Okay, well that's great for all of you.
But
and
I
your
No,
I get
childhood.
more.
I
get
just
picked.
said I
Listen,
got picked on a lot. It's just not none of them turned around into a wham bam. Look at me, I'm a
Right,
superhero
right.
at this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just to be clear, Gabe, I got made fun of too.
Okay.
and I get picked on a lot. I got picked on a lot now on this podcast for my age and everything. But in your face, I'm probably going to outlive you all.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah, live longer
right.
and outlive is two different things, though.
That's very true.
You might live to 102, but I'll still just be 40.
Well, there you go.
That's
Jeez.
funny. I like it.
Calm Fury. How do I testify to my spouse that I need? Oh, sorry. How do I justify to my spouse that I was like, whoa, okay, hang on.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's back up. This isn't a court situation or anything. How do I justify to my spouse that I need to pack the Nintendo Switch and PS4 for our move into corporate housing? I cannot wait a month plus until we move into out of corporate housing and into our apartment to play Apex, Tetris, etc. How do I
Man,
justify it?
I'd go one at a time, number one. I wouldn't try to do both at the same time.
I feel like it would be easier to get the Switch in there just because you can
That's
play
what
that
I'm saying.
handheld.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. You might want to go Switch first and then like have the PlayStation always in the trunk.
Mm-hmm.
So when she's gotten used to seeing you play the Nintendo, and then one day she comes home and the PlayStation's plugged in. Maybe it doesn't take too much talking into. Just take it.
Yeah, just take it, and if there's an opportunity, then go. But yeah, I like your idea of the Switch first.
Yeah.
I'm failing to understand why it's problematic. I mean, neither one takes up a lot of space.
Maybe she's just thinking of the, because maybe she has a lot of stuff she wants to bring, and his things just feels like on top of that. And she's like, well, we don't need those. We already have to take all this stuff.
Yeah.
And so he's having to justify the importance of some of the things he wants to take.
Well, if
That's
you take
what
the
I'm thinking.
PlayStation, you can say, well, now we don't have to pack a DVD player or.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's,
there you
that's
go.
a good way to put it.
Yeah, it's a good way to watch Netflix and all that on
Mm-hmm.
the TV.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And you say, and babe, I love video games. Switch doesn't do Netflix and stuff, so I'm gonna just bring this too, real quick.
Yeah.
There you go. I like it.
I like
Yeah.
that.
Plus,
more of a
when
service
I'm playing the
kind of thing.
PlayStation, I'm not getting into any trouble.
Hey,
I'm not making anybody
that-
mad.
The truth.
I'm actually probably saving the world.
Right? I'm out of your hair.
That's
And if you
out
let
of
me
your
play
hair.
longer, if you let me play long enough, I could win $2 million in a World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
There you go.
it might
There
be
you
too
go.
late for all that.
Yeah, right. Derek Putnam, what's the one thing you refuse to pay for? It kills me to pay a delivery fee for food. I know it won't break the bank, but I just can't.
Why can't you
That's-
pay a delivery fee for food?
Dude, come on, man. That's somebody delivering your food. You should give them something for it.
Yeah.
I think probably because he comes from the generation like I do, where usually you didn't see that fee in the pizza delivery guy, and so it was just like all in there. Maybe is the way he's thinking about it.
The tip was always, growing up, the tip was always like their delivery fee, wasn't it? You'd always
Yes,
tip them.
but I think that
But now
has
there's delivery
changed.
fee on top of a tip, on top
Yes.
of
Because I never had a problem
service fee.
tipping people, but I think that's where.
Seen the price of gas recently?
Yeah, that joke is ridiculous. That's Chris's thing he refuses to pay for nowadays with his electric car.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
I have not seen the price of gas recently.
I refuse to pay for there's a lot sheesh, that's a tough one because I'm pretty cheap on these free apps. Like I'm just paying for
Yeah.
Clash Royale now 3 years in.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna say free apps. I have a hard time with the microtransactions for sure.
I agree. I'm saying that as well.
What say you, Edward?
If I go somewhere and I get like a coffee grinder, and they say,
Yep.
"Oh, do you want that protection plan?" No,
Oh,
I
there you
know
go.
that's
Protection
right.
plan. That is
because you
for
will
sure.
take this back if it's broken. So
Yeah, number one.
Regardless.
Yeah, number two, there's usually a manufacturer's warranty also on things.
right.
And so you want me to buy a $75 Blu-ray player and then pay you $25 to replace it?
Yeah.
If something goes wrong in 3 years,
Yeah.
I'll save my pennies and buy a different one. That means this one sucks.
Exactly.
Yeah. Chris,
Yep.
did you have one?
I'm kind of a little bit of all of these things. I don't do the extended warranty stuff either. I've done it before on large purchases because it's actually worked out for me in the past. But very, very seldom. On most things, I will not mess with it at all.
Yes.
And then I can't tell you the last time I bought an app. Whether it's an app or a game, I've bought a few of them over time, but I mean, it's got to be really something that's grabbing me for me to be that thing. And I do not do any of the food delivery stuff either, outside of occasionally pizza, because I just don't want to pay for it. It's like, if it's like really far away, or if I lived in a city that was like, San Francisco, New York, where it's really a pain to carry that, on the train back to my apartment or something, I would do it. But I can easily just drive anywhere I want. And so I'm just not going to do that. It's just when I look at that, it's like, okay, yes, this meal will cost me $35 for, both of us. But then on top of that, I'm paying another 20 in fees and delivery charges and all that.
That's the hard part. When the fees get crazy. We have
Amazon Now here, whatever, where it's like, oh yeah, I can order this thing and it'll be delivered me in 30 minutes or whatever. But then the fee for doing that is like another $15. It's like, no, I'm not doubling it. It's like, I can wait another 2 days, or whatever for that to show up.
Yep.
If it's that important, I'll run down to Target or something. Yeah. It's really hard for me to be like, but I can just do that.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly. Let's move on to Facebook. Brian View, what is your go-to arcade game when you guys go to something like a Dave & Buster's or any arcade place? Mine would be Time Crisis, House of the Dead, or the basketball machine battling each other.
Ooh, Time Crisis is definitely one I'll always play. As well as if Tapper's there, Root Beer Tapper.
Oh wow.
I love that game. So I'll always play that. And of course, if Dragon's Lair 2 is up in that piece.
Never.
I will definitely give it some of my money.
You're right.
Mm-hmm.
What say you, Edward?
Air hockey.
Ooh, yes.
Yes, sir.
Good one. Chris?
I'm always a sucker for it, even though I'm not any good at them anymore. I will play the Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter 2 if they're available.
All right.
Oh yeah.
And then I also really liked, I've only played it a handful of times, but that Killer Queen, I think is what it's called.
Yes, that game's fun.
That was a really fun game. So if they have that, because you don't find it very often, but if you can find that, I will definitely jump onto that game.
There you go. I like that. Tim?
Skee ball or air hockey. I'm right there with you, Ed.
Nice.
Love it.
Oh, I'm terrible at skee ball.
I know, man. It's so much fun.
Yes, it is.
I'm better at skee ball than I am air hockey, but I like air hockey.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I do love me some air hockey. Darius Stewart, have you ever been great in a game amongst your peers, then being humbled when facing real competition? I remember being better than the average person in a handful of older fighting games amongst my friends and sought competition. I sometimes talked trash to people that claimed to be good and would destroy them. I finally played in a tournament and got picked apart.
Wow.
I did do well in my main game, which was Capcom versus SNK2, where I placed second in a round robin, losing only to an old Evo champ.
Oh, wow.
But was later humbled by other players of his caliber. Any humbling experiences where you got humbled and had to step your game up, or where you were the humbler? I like this question.
Yeah, that's a good one. I was usually always better at my friends at Mario Kart. And then you get online.
Right.
Yeah, I remember the first times getting online, I was like, oh, snap, I suck at this game. And yeah, you really got to step that up. And then when me and Jenny were playing Dr. Mario, and then we would go online. And it really did help our game out. But yeah, at very first, you're like, oh, these jokers are a different level. I thought I was, never mind kind of thing,
Yeah.
Right.
Chris?
Pretty much any shooter game, I feel like I pretty much wrap my head around it and do pretty decent, especially in public lobbies and whatnot. Or if I team up if it's a team game like Overwatch, let's say, I feel like I'm pretty good at helping my team along and help do what needs to be done. But if I had to move into an actual legitimate competitive scene, I just feel like I'm maybe average at best. I will get beat by most people.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Yep. What say you, Edward?
Definitely Beat Saber. Among the people in the direct vicinity, I'm pretty good. But then I go online and it's like Rainflow. What the heck? Hollywood Bones. How did you get that score?
Yeah.
Right.
Let alone the world scores. Ugh.
Right. Those guys are cheating.
Definitely.
That's how I look at it. That's funny.
Yeah, for me, it's Overwatch, and it depends on the heroes. Like if I'm feeling really good about one hero, I'll play. I'll play a quick play, and then there's an opponent who's that same hero, and he's just destroying everybody, including myself, over and over again. I'm like, dang, I mean, it just gives you motivation to get better at it. But that game always is a humbling game.
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Good question. Daniel Farugia. I just rebuilt my home PC, a ritual I go through every few years, and bought Skyrim Enhanced Edition while it was on sale on Steam. Have you ever put off buying or playing a game until years after its release? I just knew I'd get too far into the game, having been a massive fan of both Morrowind and Oblivion, and wouldn't have the time at the stage of my life. My wife went away for a week and left me with the kids, so staying up late to play wasn't going to get me any side eye.
Ooh.
Wait years to buy a game.
Wow. Intentionally. I don't know if I have, just because I usually want to play it now, just for my own personal reasons, and also just because the podcast and everything, I want to kind of be, if I feel like I want to play it, I want to be able to talk about it as soon as we can.
Yeah.
But I've never intentionally put a game off for a while.
I didn't intentionally do it, but I definitely waited on. Remember, I got the 3DS really late. I waited till the new 3DS came out, and then played a couple games on it, and it was that was something, and it was very quick-lived. I have the 3DS for very long at all, but they just happen to be doing some like trade in your Vita and get so much money off of it, and so that's why I did it. And,
right.
Yeah, that didn't last long. Chris?
The only thing that I can think that kind of applies to this is I held off just on buying my PlayStation 3 because I just couldn't justify the cost of how expensive it was at the time. And there were several games that dropped for it that I was like, oh, I want to play that game, but I'm not buying a PlayStation 3 for that. So I put it off until later on. But then once I got my PS3, I bought most of the games I wanted to play.
Yeah.
So it's kind of really more the hardware.
That's a good point.
Dictating that for me, anyways.
Yeah, for me, it's never been intentional either. It's I usually will play. I play a game just, and when I'm done with it, then I move on to the next. I don't kind of mix and match. So like I'm just now getting to Spider-Man because I was playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey for how many months. So it's like I kind of push everything off. But Spider-Man. I remember BioShock Infinite was quite a ways from its release that I started playing that as well. So yeah.
There you go.
It's all in your gameplay.
Yeah.
You play whatever you want to play.
Yeah.
Unless you're getting side eye.
Unless you're getting that side eye.
Yeah.
Exactly. Nick Hountress, what is the last game that made you rage quit and why? Follow up, what was the last game that made you genuinely smile just because you are having that much fun?
Ooh.
All right, so first is the last game that made you rage quit and why, and then the last game that made you genuinely smile.
Yeah. I'm going to go with, it wasn't really rage quit, but Sekiro, man, was just.
Oh, man, yeah.
That game was just tough, man. And I was like, I could see myself rage quitting it. And then genuinely, I think Detroit has actually been that.
Yeah.
I've really liked playing Detroit. That's like, it looks so nice, and there's, and when other people are kind of looking over your shoulder and watching you play, and I was like, I love this. I love when people are, they sat down, or, when they have to get up, like, okay, I'm gonna go grab lunch. Like, are you gonna still be playing when I get back? And I was like, yeah. I was like, okay, cool. And then you'd be like, hey guys, I don't want to take up. You guys want to watch the TV? He's like, no, this is like watching a movie. And you're like, all right, yeah.
Yep.
That made me really happy. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Chris, you got one rage quit and then joy?
The joy one is Apex, because I had to have a lot of fun in that game, and then even when I win, obviously that's the pinnacle of it, and then till the next round starts. I honestly can't think of the last game that I got so mad at that I quit it.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Really
Sekiro I didn't
time.
get mad at, but I just was like, this might be above my talent level.
Man, I honestly can't think of one that I got mad. And even if it was just like a walk away for a little bit because I'm frustrated with this, like even maybe God of War, there were a few times when we were fighting the Dark Elves where I got pretty ticked off, but it was never more than like go take a break for a little while and come back. And sometimes that's just to reset and like, okay, let's get rid of this frustration. And then because then I can focus again, whereas I'm not focusing on the wrong moves I'm making.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't, back in the day, man, I used to rage quit a lot of games. And I haven't actually done that in a long time.
Nice.
Older and wiser.
Yep. Tim?
Last game for me was Overwatch when I rage quit, because it's just like when you get just killed so many times, I'm like, all right, I'm done with this. And so I just I left. And then the genuine smile is obviously Spider-Man right now. It's just, especially when I first started swinging through New York, I'm like, this is just freaking fun.
Yeah.
So it was a good time.
I want to put this in there real quick. My buddy Nick West, I was telling you about, that was at the Fortnite thing. He put up on his Facebook like them setting it up and tearing it down, and somebody asked him, how long did this take to set up and then tear back down? He said to set up it took 2 weeks to set up the Fortnite World Cup.
Wow.
And they had 36 hours to tear it back down.
Oh my gosh. 30, that's it? 36 hours?
36 hours. Woo. I guess they needed it. Yeah, we're going to need this building.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So 2 weeks to set up. Gracious.
Wow. All right, last question. Twitter at ChadFackler1. So I do it, and I think most people do it too. When you talk to your pets, do you have a voice you talk to them in? Kind of like talking to a baby voice, or do you just talk like they're actually listening and understand you?
The second one.
Yes, same.
Only because I do
I
do the baby talk to the actual babies in the house.
Right.
And so the dog, we're like, Sadie,
Of which
Sadie,
there
get
are
down.
a lot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sadie, stop. Yeah. But if she's being a good girl, of course, you know, you pitch it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You're a good girl, Sadie's a good girl. Yeah.
I like it like when they get excited, like you get excited with them, but most of the time it's just like, hey, get over here. Stop. Stop chewing on toilet paper or whatever.
Yeah.
But when they're excited, like, oh, you want your food? Oh, come on, let's go. You know, hilarious.
I like that. Chris, what did you say?
Yeah, I don't have real babies here, so my dog is my baby.
Yep.
And so I mean, I don't know that I do the traditional style baby talk, but I'm definitely doing the pitch up thing on occasion, especially when she's getting excited and when we go play Frisbee out back, getting her all excited to want to keep playing and everything before she tires out and then just leaves the Frisbee there. Right. And I'm like, all right, and we're done.
Yep. Ed, which one did you say?
Yeah, it's pretty much just regular talk.
So here's the question though for you.
Yeah.
Do you talk to the dog and the cat differently?
Not really.
Really?
Yeah, I can see that.
Not the same.
I disagree.
Really?
Even keel Ed, man.
Well,
even keel
only
Ed.
just from watching your streams. Like when the cat used to come around, you'd be like, hey, what are you doing up here?
Right.
And then when Batman comes around, you're like, look at Batman. Look at how cute he is.
That's true. I guess that's true.
Nice. That's good.
That's true.
Batman?
Yeah.
Don't you usually go Batman?
Yeah. He's like, look at Batman back there. Look at him being cute. Ain't he cute back there? Look at Batman.
Oh, look at him taking a dump in my living room.
Yeah. The cat's like, well, what's going on? What, you need something?
Like, get out of here.
Yeah. You just give him $5 and he runs off.
That's right.
Go play.
Go to the arcade.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I'll spend it all in one place now. No Dragon's Lair 2 with that $5.
No.
Don't listen to Gabe.
Don't look at Uncle Gabe. Be a bad influence.
Yeah.
Don't waste your money. That is it for all the questions. Thank you, everybody. We appreciate it.
Yeah, we do. The question of the week from you guys actually comes from Beefmaster Serta from the Road Crew. He had texted me the other day. He said, I just watched a video clip of Betrayal from Modern Warfare 2. Maybe the most intense / emotional scene I've ever seen in gaming. Has the podcast ever done a question of the week regarding people's most intense gaming moments? And the answer to that question, the answer is yes, we have. But we haven't done it in a while. So, question of the week for you guys. What's the most intense gaming moment you've lived through or you've played? If you can remember off the top of your head. That's a tough one. There's a lot of intense gaming. Maybe you don't, just for pressure's sake for us maybe it's not going to be the most intense, but maybe what's a recent intense moment that you were like, oh, snap, as you played?
I will say it wasn't recent because I haven't played this in a number of years now, but that I've played it a few times and it always sticks out on my mind. There's this one part in The Last of Us where you're in this building and you have to go underneath it and there's some water in there and you have to start a generator to get the power going. So you use a key card to open the door and you just start to hear clickers and you can tell that they're coming to you. And so the first time I played the scene and I died in it, if you wait around too long, like you just get swarmed by a bunch of them and you just can't deal. So the second time I made it through it, and then later on when the remastered version came, I totally forgot about it. And then when I got to that scene, I was like, oh, I remembered. And I was so tense the whole time, just trying to run and move because it sounds like that at any minute they're coming around that corner.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get to that, make it to that door and get through there and shut the door before they could ever reach me. And it just freaked me out.
Yes, for sure. Edward?
In the VR game Blood and Truth, I don't want to spoil anything, so I'll just say in the art
The
gallery.
best VR game of all time?
Best VR game of all time.
Okay, cool.
In the art gallery.
Ah.
With the candlestick in the art gallery.
Colonel Mustard.
That's right.
With the candlestick.
Yeah. What about
Chris,
you,
that reminds
Tim?
I was going to say that reminds me in The Last of Us. There was another scene that I actually struggled with on the remake version. Was when you're hanging upside down and you have to shoot them all. Like I struggled so much, and I'm like sitting there, I'm like white knuckling it on my DualShock, like just concentrating on trying to get those clickers out. So that was another intense one. But yet that other one that you just said was definitely the kicker on that game for me. But that was a second one.
I would say, I mean, definitely. I talked about it last week or the week before. There was a scene in Detroit where I thought I was going to lose a character, and you're making all these decisions really fast, and people were around me, and I was like, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to say? And they're like, I don't know. And so you're just kind of trying to figure it out, and then it finally comes to an end, and you're like, oh, God, thank you, Jesus. Like, I didn't lose anybody, and we made it out. And then I don't know what part of Modern Warfare this was, but when you're crawling in the grass, and it's like the sniper scene. I don't exactly remember what it all is, but I just remember when the tanks are going past you and you're crawling and everything like that. And
Yeah.
Do you remember which one that was, Chris? Was that the first one or the second?
I don't remember the name of the level, but yeah, it was Modern Warfare 1.
Yes. Oh man. And you just the first time you hear those tanks going by and you're like, oh gosh. It's amazing.
A lot of people talk about that scene. I've never played it, but I've heard a lot of people mention
it's
that.
a very all gillied up. That's the name.
All
Yes,
gillied up.
It's like the most iconic, probably one of the most, if not the most iconic Call of Duty mission. Yeah, it's real good.
There you go. I like it. I like it a lot. Let us know what you guys' most intense gaming moments have been, and we will talk about it next week, which will be awesome. Same bat time, same bat channel, right here on the Married to the Games podcast. I'm Gabe Patillo. That is Tim Router. That is Ed Placencia. That is Chris McCracken. And we are married to the games, and we are up out this thing. Yeah!